What makes a tennis match impossible to forget? Is it the noise of the crowd? Is it the pressure of one final point? Or is it that rare moment when two players push so hard that the match becomes bigger than the sport itself? Tennis has given us many great champions. It has given us trophies, records, and famous names. But every now and then, it gives us something even more special. It gives us a match that feels unreal. A match that people talk about for years. A match that shocks the crowd, breaks hearts, and makes history at the same time. And that is what this video is all about. Today we are looking at the unforgettable tennis matches that stunned millions. These were not just games. These were battles of skill, pain, nerve, and pure will. Some lasted for hours. Some turned on one single point. Some looked finished, then changed in a flash. And by the end of this video, you may find your own view of tennis changed forever. So stay with me until the end, because the final matches on this list show a level of drama that almost feels too wild to be real. Tennis is a simple game when you first look at it. Two players stand on opposite sides of a net. They hit a ball back and forth. One tries to outplay the other. But the truth is much deeper than that. Tennis is not only about strong shots or fast feet, it is also about the mind. It is about staying calm when thousands of people are watching. It is about making smart choices when your body is tired. It is about holding your nerve when one point can decide everything. In many sports, players can hide behind teammates. In tennis, there is nowhere to hide. When things go wrong, the player stands alone. When the pressure rises, the player feels every second of it. That is why tennis can create such powerful drama. The court becomes a stage, the crowd becomes part of the story, and the players, under all that pressure, can either rise into greatness or fall apart in front of the whole world. That is also why the greatest tennis matches stay with people for so long. Fans do not remember only the score, they remember the feeling. They remember the tension. They remember the moment when the impossible started to seem possible. They remember the look on a player's face after losing a huge lead. They remember the roar after a comeback. They remember the silence before match point. In those moments, tennis stops being only a sport. It becomes a human story. It becomes about courage, fear, belief, and survival. A player may be down by 2 sets. A champion may be on the edge of defeat. A young star may face a legend in front of a packed stadium. And somehow, the pressure creates something magic. That is why millions watch. That is why millions care. Because deep down, people are not just watching a ball cross the net. They are watching a person fight for something that means everything. The matches we are talking about in this video come from different times and different courts. Some happened on grass, some on clay, some under the bright lights of night, some under the heavy weight of a Grand Slam final. But they all share something powerful. They all had a moment when the world seemed to stop. A moment when fans leaned forward. A moment when nobody could guess what would happen next. These are the kinds of matches that create legends. They shape careers. They change how players are remembered. One match can turn a great player into an icon. One match can leave pain that never fully goes away. One match can become the first thing people mention when a player's name is spoken years later. And that is what makes this topic so exciting. We are not just counting famous matches. We are stepping into some of the most intense moments the sport has ever seen. We are going to look at battles where top players gave everything they had. We are going to talk about matches filled with pressure, heartbreak, and wild swings in momentum. We are going to see how one set can change a career, how one missed shot can haunt a player, and how one brave comeback can lift someone into sports history. If you are a longtime tennis fan, some of these matches may already live in your memory. If you are newer to tennis, you are about to learn why this sport has produced some of the most dramatic moments in all of sports. But before we jump into the first match, there is something important to understand. A truly unforgettable tennis match is not always the one with the biggest names. It is not always the final. It is not even always the cleanest or most perfect match. Sometimes it is unforgettable because of the emotion. Sometimes it is unforgettable because a player refused to give up. Sometimes it is unforgettable because it felt like two people were pushing each other beyond normal limits. And sometimes it is unforgettable because the whole match seemed to carry the weight of history on its back. Maybe a champion was trying to protect a legacy. Maybe a rival was trying to prove a point. Maybe a young player was trying to shock the world. That is why these matches hit so hard. They are never just about winning. They are about what the win means. Think about how rare that is. In most games, people forget the details after a while. They move on. They remember who won, maybe the final score, and that is all. But in tennis, some matches refuse to fade. Fans remember the heat, the sweat, the time on the clock, the noise in the stadium, and the feeling in their chest as each point passed. They remember that a player looked done, then came back. They remember that a legend looked strong, then suddenly looked human. They remember the kind of pressure that makes even the easiest shot feel impossible. These are the moments that stunned millions. These are the moments that turned normal matches into stories people tell again and again. So in this video, we are not just going to talk about who won or who lost. We are going to talk about why these matches mattered. We are going to talk about what made them feel different. We are going to explore the pressure, the turning points, and the human drama that made them unforgettable. Some of these stories are inspiring, some are painful, some are so tense that they still feel hard to believe, but all of them prove one thing very clearly. When tennis is at its best, it can create moments as thrilling as anything in sport. And now, with that in mind, it is time to begin with one of the most famous and shocking matches the sport has ever seen. A match between two giants. A match that did not just thrill fans, but changed how people talked about greatness in tennis. A match so dramatic that even years later, it still feels alive in memory. Let's start there.